Today we're going to learn how to knit with circular needles. This video is brought to you by KPC Yarns. I'm knitting with KPC Yarn Cashmere lace in the color Cloud 9, and I'm using size 3mm needles. To purchase this yarn or needles and others like it, visit the link in the description below. To knit with circular needles, you'll need to cast on a number of stitches that has a length that is equal to or greater than the length of your circular needle. So you can see here I've got stitches that are cast onto my circular needle, and my stitches start here and they go all the way around my circular needle and they end here. So the length of my stitches is almost the same as the length of my needle. And you'll need to have a length of stitches that is equal to or greater than the length of your circular needle before we can get started. The reason why we need to have a number of stitches that's the same length or of the length that's greater than the length of our needle is because we need to join up these stitches together so that they make a circle. If we have too few stitches, we won't be able to stretch them across our whole needle. So that's why we need to have enough stitches that fit on our needle. Before you join in the round, you want to make sure that your stitches are not twisted. If you look at your stitches, you can see that one side of them has this cast-on edge here, and the other side does not. So you want to make sure that this cast-on edge is all facing the same direction. For example, if your stitches are twisted, they might look like this. So you can see the cast-on edge is not all facing the same direction. It is from here to here, but at this point it turns to the back. It gets twisted behind. So we don't want that. When we join in the round, we want all of our stitches to be facing the same direction. So we'll untwist those stitches right here. So now you can see that my cast-on edge is all facing inwards. So you want to make sure that all of your stitches on your needle are facing inwards. So we can go across our whole needle here and see that all of them are facing inwards. And here we have a bit of a twist, so I'm going to untwist that and untwist all of these stitches so that the cast-on edge is facing inwards. We're all in the same direction. When your stitches are all facing the same direction, then we can join in the round. Now to join in the round, we will use our needle in our right hand and go into the first stitch of the needle on our left hand. So here is my first stitch. I'm going to push my stitches up so that my first stitch is right at the edge of my needle, and then I'm going to knit into this first stitch. And I'll use my yarn and just knit into that stitch and drop it off. And now our stitches are joined in the round. Here we go. We are able to knit in a circle. Now we've just begun a new round, so we need to mark the beginning of our round. Now to do this, we can use what's called a stitch marker. A stitch marker looks like a little ring, and we use this to mark the beginning of our round. So I'm going to use this marker, which is a split ring marker, and I'm going to go between my stitch that I just knit and the last stitch of my round. And now I can start knitting in the round. We would just continue knitting in the round as if we were knitting on flat needles, except we're knitting on circular needles. On your first row, your stitches may be a bit tight, but don't worry, you can just push your stitches up close to your needle point so that you can knit a little bit easier. On your second and third row, your stitches will relax a bit more and they won't be so tight. Now I'm almost at the end of my first round, just have a few more stitches. Here's my last stitch of my first round, and now I've just completed one round. And I know this because the stitch marker is here to remind me. So when I finish my round, I'm going to move my stitch marker from my left needle to my right needle. And then we can continue knitting. And you would knit in whatever stitch that your pattern calls for, moving your stitch marker from the left needle to the right needle at the end of every round. And that is how you knit with a circular needle. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the KPC Yarns channel and like this video if you found it helpful. Check out more videos from KPC Yarns.